Oh yeah, we live. Let's go. Typing one in the chat if you can hear me, Baba Kashah. I can hear myself. I'm good. Put my own one in there. Put my MacBook at. Like it. Wow. You can listen if you want. Okay. Well, y'all one, I see you. Yeah, most time okay. Like it, y'all. Give me one moment. I'll give y'all a little time to log in. I gotta pull up the stuff on my MacBook right quick. Most High in Christ, 4-1, yeah. If you could like, share, and subscribe, post it, man. I've been wanting to teach a class by myself for a minute. You know, I got a few topics I'd like to go over. Figured today would be a good day than any. You know, the Lord blessed me with time and opportunities to teach a class today. So I'm gonna go do my thing. Mm-hmm. See if I know what the hell I'm talking about. That's a joke. Come on. I'm almost there, y'all. Give me a moment. Okay. Almost okay. All right. It's like, let me go. I'm finna share it too right quick. Sweat. Hey, can you bring me that having the charge out that bag, please? The water. All right, bet. All right, let's get to it. Shalom, how about Shem, how about thrown to the brothers? Shalom, Yahweh Shemal, thought about Shem, how shot to the sisters. We are the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge coming out of 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under command of General Yohana since 1969. We have been teaching the truth of the Bible, The truth is that all blacks, Hispanics, Latinos, West Indians, Native Americans, or should I say so-called, are the true chosen people of God. We've broken that down numerous times. We can break that down today if need be. But right now, as you can tell by the title, I wanted to get into something that's lost. I just want to get back to the basics. I want people to understand, what we do, why we do it. I want people to understand why God chose us to do this. I want people to really wrap their brain around why you're in One West. As of now, you can look amongst the crowd, you can look amongst the world, and you can see there's so much division. There's so many things that separate us and divide us that stops us from coming together. Albeit, and most of it is very small things. A different dialect would have you against somebody. A different skin tone would have you against somebody. Small and minute things like that have you hate a brother or hate a sister when it really doesn't even matter. That is a whole plot and plan to have you against someone. They will separate your language. They will separate your color. There's a language barrier, so you can't understand this person. Now you have a problem with it. There's a color barrier, so now you have a problem with someone. Okay, we're going to dissect all of that today. We're going to go into why things are kind of the way they are. We're just going to get back to the basics. Let's start with the book of Romans chapter 3 and verse 3, right? Pull it up when you got it. All right, let's do this. Wish I knew how to put it up. All right, this is the book of Romans chapter 3 verse 3, right? For what if some did not believe? Shall their unbelief make the faith of God without effect? This is a question for today, right? For what if some did not believe what One West was saying? For what if some did not believe what I'm saying right now? What if you was like, you know what? I'm going to start serving God. I'm going to stop eating pork. This is what the scriptures say. I'm going to stop eating shrimp, crab, and lobsters. This is what the scriptures say. What if some did not believe? That's a question for today, right? You got to really understand what's going on. Let's read it again. Everything that goes on today is the same thing that was happening back then. For what if some did not believe? Shall their unbelief, because you say, hey, I don't eat pork because God said it, just because they don't believe it. Shall their unbelief make the faith of God without effect? Just because someone don't believe what you're saying, what you've been taught, just because they don't believe it, don't make it not true. You can tell somebody something 100 times. If it's the truth, it's still the truth. Just because somebody tell you, I don't believe in what you believe in, that don't make this Bible false. That doesn't make the beliefs, or that doesn't make what you've been taught false. Just because everyone else doesn't believe it. Doesn't matter what they believe. We just go to the Bible. We go to the Bible to prove what we're saying. I'll read it again. For what if some did not believe? Shall their unbelief make the faith of God without effect? Verse 4. God forbid. That's all you need on that. God forbid. You got to really understand what's happening out here. You tell everybody God does not allow me to eat pork, shrimp, crab, and lobster, and they look at you like you're crazy. You look at everybody and you tell them sex is marriage, and they look at you like you crazy, like you lost your mind. They don't believe it. You know why? Because they don't believe in God. But we're going to get to why they don't believe in God, right? We've been misdirected in terms of understanding God and this Bible. The understanding of what these writings were recorded for. What's the purpose of reading this Bible? How to apply it to our lives. People read this Bible and they don't apply it because they don't see themselves in the Bible. They see these stories and they see it as a regular non-fiction book or fiction book that they read since high school or elementary school when you had your accelerated readers. They look at this Bible, they don't see how should they apply it to themselves. Why? Because they don't know that that's them in the Bible. You don't know that it's you in the Bible. That is you. That's why I tell everybody on my Sabbath service classes and our Sabbath service classes, when you read this Bible, read it like it's you. When you're in Genesis, read it like it's you. When you're reading about Adam, read it like it's you. When you sisters hear about Eve, read it like it's you. That's why we call you naive, because you're near unto Eve, because you make those same mistakes that Eve make. You brothers got to understand when you're reading this Bible, it's you. When Paul is making these writings in the New Testament, Romans 3:3, he's writing. He's writing to a school in Rome. He's letting them know, hey, look, people are not going to believe what you believe. But that don't make God not true. That don't make the faith of God without effect, right? You got to understand where we're coming from. We've been given different religions, different sects, different organizations. All it does is divide us from one another and keep us from coming together. Matter of fact, let me get let me get the book of Zephaniah chapter 2, verse 1, right? Excuse me. Let's get this. Zephaniah 2:1. This is a bedrock scripture in one West, right? One second. It's a bedrock scripture. And we need it more than ever right now. More than ever. Zephaniah 2:1. Come on. Gather yourselves together, yea, gather together, O nation not desired. Who's not desired? Blacks, Hispanics, Native Americans, Latinos, West Indians. No one likes you. You are walking down the street like these, and you, especially because we're on the West Coast in California. And being a so-called African American, being a so-called Negro, it's like, damn, Mexicans don't like us. And you're like, why? You don't understand why. Vice versa. Hispanic be like, man, them blacks do not like us. Instead of us just coming together and solving our problems and figuring out, don't nobody like us. So why don't we just like each other? Why don't we come together? This is what we should be starting. The scriptures tell you what to do, but you don't apply those scriptures, man. Back to the book of Romans chapter 3, verse 3. For what if some did not believe? What if some did not believe blacks and Hispanics should come together? What if some did not believe that blacks, Hispanics, Native Americans, West Indians are the children of God? Shall their unbelief make the faith of God without effect? Verse 4, God forbid, right? It's the same story every week, man. Regardless if you have faith or not in the Lord, he's still doing what he's going to do anyway. This is the only place on the planet Earth where blacks, Hispanics, Native Americans, and West Indians can come together and not have any problems. And the problems we do have with one another, we fix it really quickly. You got to understand where we're at in life. Like when you're reading the Bible is easy to read, but it's hard to understand. It's like a surgeon's manual. How you gonna go out there and do surgery when you don't know how to do surgery? You don't even know the basics. You're gonna kill somebody. You're gonna unalive somebody because you can just cut them open and you don't know how to suture them back together. That's the same thing with this Bible. I pray you understand. You're going to cut somebody to pieces and you don't know how to put them back together. That's what the Christian church does to blacks and Hispanics. There's a Christian church on every corner in the barrio, and Hispanics eat pork more than anybody. There's a Christian church in every place of the ghetto, and black people eat pork more than anybody. No, they do not understand the Bible. For them to understand the Bible, this is your job, black man, Hispanic man, Native American man. You have to get taught by a surgeon to understand how to be a surgeon. In this school, we're teaching you how to be surgical with your cuts. But at first, you need to know the basics. This is not hard. This is a very simple thing to learn. This is very simple. The book of Romans chapter 3, verse 3, I'm going to read it again because I want to harp on that. For what if some did not believe? This is why you study. This is why you train. This is why you become an officer. Shall their unbelief make the faith of God without effect? God forbid, yea. Let God be true, but every man a liar. Meaning what? Meaning this. When you're going out there to tell somebody about the Bible, you're reading straight out the Bible. And here's what I found out throughout my very, very short tenure in this school. They don't want to know the Bible. People that go against you, they don't want to go against the Bible. They get afraid when you pull out the Bible. Why? Because they know they don't know the Bible. Let God be true, but every man a liar, as it is written. As it is written where? In the Old Testament. That thou mightest be justified in thy sayings and mightest overcome when thou art judged. You can tell somebody, hey, I don't celebrate birthdays. And you say, why? Because there is no birthday celebration in the Bible. The 3 times a birthday was celebrated in the Bible, somebody got their head cut off. Somebody got their head cut off. I don't celebrate Valentine's Day because that's not in the Bible. I don't celebrate Christmas, New Year's, because that's not in the Bible. Is the certain man on verse 30 an Israelite or a person from another nation? What, in Luke 10, y'all going? Let me see. Luke 10. Luke 10, 31 to 33, breakdown Salaki. Two fell among thieves and stripped him of his raiment and wounded him and parted, leaving him half dead. So he preached that way, and when he saw him, he passed by on the other side. Levite passed by on both sons. We went to him and bound. When he departed, he took out 2 pence and gave him to the host to take care of him. Oh my man, that's a heavy precept. That is a brotherhood precept. Yes, that was an Israelite. You know it was an Israelite, right? First of all, we know who Christ came for. Christ is only dealing with the Israelites. Christ didn't come out here to deal with every other nation. Let's start at the book of Genesis, Luke. Let's start at let's break this down. This is the parable of the Good Samaritan. Let's see where I want to start from. Verse 28, right? This is the book of Luke, chapter 10, verse 28. And he said unto him, thou hast Salakia. Let me start at verse 26. He said unto him, what is written in the law? I start at 25. The book of Luke, chapter 10, verse 25. And behold, a certain lawyer stood up and tempted him, saying, you got to think, we're talking about a lawyer, he's talking about a Pharisee or a Sadducees, because there were doctors in the law, lawyers in the law. Now, when these Pharisees and Sadducees were coming to Christ, yes, again, you got to look at it like when you in it. Somebody's challenging you on what you believe in. When you tell somebody, I'm an Israelite, I'm from the tribe of Yashakar, I believe blacks, Hispanics, Native Americans are Israelites, they're God's chosen people. When people hear that, they're challenging you. You know why they're challenging you? Because they want to see the hypocrite in you. They want to poke holes at you. They want to find a flaw in what you believe in. You know why? Because there's a flaw in what they believe in. Because in a Christian's mind, they can't believe that somebody actually follows God. Because a Christian knows what? A Christian knows they don't follow God. Every Christian on the planet Earth, they believe in heaven and hell in the physical form, right? They believe in a place underground where some guy's poking you with a pitchfork and there's flames and fires, right? That's what they believe. But every Christian on the planet Earth, they know they're not good enough to enter into the kingdom of heaven. Every Christian knows this. There's not a Christian on this planet that thinks they're just that good. You know why? Because they know deep down inside they ain't SHIT. They know it. Sugar, honey, iced tea, I should say. And what they're looking for, when you're saying, hey, I'm trying to be perfect, they're looking for a flaw in you. They're looking for something to poke at you. Again, this is why you got to be justified in your sayings, right? Now let's go to the parable of the Good Samaritan. This is the book of Luke, chapter 10, verse 25. I'll start again. And behold, a certain lawyer stood up and tempted him, saying, Master, what shall I do to inherit eternal life? He ain't asking, when y'all see the Pharisees talking to Christ, they're not asking Christ to become better people. They're asking Christ to cut them. They're trying to stump Christ. But this is Christ. He already knows this, right? Verse 26. He said unto him, what is written in the law? How readest thou? You got to think this is a conversation of, you know, a nigga trying to cut you, but you about to cut him, and you know you are. So you brothers got to understand that I don't have to defend One West. I don't have to defend what I believe in because I know it's the truth. Psalms 119, 142, thy righteousness is the everlasting righteousness, and thy law is the truth. I don't have to defend what I believe in. I'm just going to attack you because you're a Christian and you eat pork. I'm going to attack you. That's the simplest thing. I'm just going to attack you because you're going to try to attack me. Guess what? I'm going to fight fire with fire. And I want you to get on your feet. A lot of times, especially when you're young in this truth, you're trying to defend what you believe in. You don't have to. You have the ultimate defense. It's the Bible. You just got to know the Bible so you can attack him. You can call him out for his wickedness. He has sex with whores. You don't. He smokes weed. You don't. He eats pork, shrimp, crab, lobster. You don't. She's a whore. Sister, you're not. She's going to leave her man and go have sex with another man. And then she's going to leave that man and go have sex with another man. And then she's going to leave that man and go have sex with another man. And then she's going to leave that man and go have sex with another man. Sis, you don't. You attack them. You understand, man? You attack them, right? That's why you got to know this Bible. Verse 27. And he answering said, thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, and with all thy soul, and with all thy strength, and with all thy mind, and thy neighbor as thyself. When you look upon a man, who is your neighbor? We already know the neighbors are the Israelites because when we brought that out in Leviticus, we know that your neighbor is an Israelite, a fellow Israelite, right? It's not some white man you stay next door to. That doesn't make no damn sense because we weren't living next to them anyway. When that was being said, right? Verse 28. And he said unto him, thou hast answered right. This do, and thou shalt live. Verse 29. But he, willing to justify himself, again, Christ knows what's about to happen. Christ already cut him. But now at this point, he's trying to justify himself. Again, going back to you're justified by your sayings. Why? In Romans 3 and 4, you justified by your sayings. Why? Because you're just going to go to the Bible. This Pharisee is now going to justify himself. This Christian, this Baptist, this Seventh-day Adventist, he's now about to justify himself or try to, right? But verse 29, but he willing to justify himself, said unto Yahushua, and who is my neighbor? And Yahushua answering said, a certain man went down from Jerusalem to Jericho. This is your question. He asked, who is my neighbor? Okay, he's going to prove to him who his neighbor. Who was living in Jerusalem, Yahuwah? Jerusalem is the capital city of what? Jerusalem. Jerusalem is the capital city of what? Anybody? The Jews. Jerusalem is the capital city in all of Judea, in all of Israel. Jerusalem is the head city in the land of Judah. Everybody knows this, right? A certain man went down from Jerusalem to Jericho and fell among thieves, which stripped him of his raiment and wounded him and departed, leaving him half dead. This story is coming. This is a coming story. You from the ghetto, from the barrio, you know this story. A nigga got robbed. This all it, bro, everything that happens today been happening, man. Christ just told this nigga, he gave this nigga a parable. He's saying, hey, look, he giving this Pharisee a parable. All right, look, a nigga was coming. This is how he's saying it. A nigga was coming down from Jerusalem. He got robbed. He went from Jerusalem. He was heading down to Jericho, another city in Israel. This brother got robbed. Verse 31. And by chance there came down a certain priest that way. A certain priest, a certain pastor, right? And when he saw him, he passed by on the other side. Don't that sound like today? These Christian pastors can talk all that jive talk and sit here and tell you, I'm for you, the Lord is for you, I'm with you and all that. But if you're struggling and you hurt, they're not going to help you. You'll find some that do. They still eat pork anyway, so it don't matter, right? But you'll find some that, well, most of them you won't find. They will not help you. They're going to walk right by you. They're going to see a crackhead on the street. They're not going to offer him nothing. They're going to see a brother asking for change. They're not going to offer him nothing. That's the type of person they are. I'll read it again. And by chance, there came down a certain priest that way. And when he saw him, he passed by on the other side. Nigga seen him on one side of the street, crossed to the other side of the street so he wouldn't have to deal with him, and kept walking by. We know what you're thinking. Verse 32. And likewise, a Levite, when he was at the place, came and looked on him and passed by on the other side. Same thing. But a certain Samaritan, as he journeyed, came where he was. And when he saw him, he had compassion on him. This is what you really need to get out of it. Don't worry about if that brother's Israelite or not. But yes, that brother is an Israelite because he came from the city of Jerusalem. This is what you need to focus on. That a certain Samaritan, as he journeyed, came where he was. And when he saw him, he had compassion on him. That's what you got to have for our people. You got to have compassion. When a new brother, a new sister get into the school, you got to have compassion on them. People that hate you and they can't stand you for no reason, you got to have compassion for them. Now, I'm not telling you to goddamn trim your ways, but you must still have compassion for them. You must look up on them and say, he really don't know. You got to understand, Christ was on the cross. Christ was hung from a tree. And as he getting hung from a tree, he looked down on the people and he told the Lord what? Forgive them, for they do not understand. You got to know that. You got to understand that. Your people do not understand. I'm going to get into that. That's what I'm getting into today. The understanding, the basics of it, right? But a certain Samaritan, as he journeyed, came where he was. And when he saw him, he had compassion on him. Verse 34. And went to him and bound up his wounds, pouring in oil and wine, and set him on his own beast, and brought him to an inn, and took care of him. Verse 35. And on the morrow, when he departed, he took out 2 pence and gave them to the host, and said unto him, take care of him, and whatsoever thou spendest more, when I come again, I will repay thee. That's how you got to be. Verse 36. Which now of these 3 thinkest thou was neighbor unto him that fell among the thieves? Verse 37. This is what the Pharisee said, because he cutting the Pharisee, right? And he said, he that showed mercy on him, then said Yahweh unto him, go and do thou likewise. Yeah, that's what you got to do. Don't worry about if the dude's Israelite or not. Yeah, he was an Israelite. But that's what you're supposed to do. That's what you're supposed to have got from that story. You're going to be brother. You're going to be a brother to somebody because they need it. You know why they hate you? Because they haven't. You know why a Mexican hate a black person? Because a Mexican has never received brotherhood from a black person. You know what I'm saying? You know why a black person hate Mexicans? Because a black person has never received brotherhood from Mexicans. You know why them people down in the West Indies don't like American blacks? Because they never received brotherhood from them. That's why you got to go so hard with your brotherhood. Your brotherhood got to be on 1,000, my boy. On 1,000. Because they need to understand what we're doing in here. We have to apologize. Hey, man, it's a Camyati, when they did the trip to Acuna, I hope I can find it. They did the trip to Acuna. Camyati wrote down in English an apology note and had Yashikar read it out loud to the Hispanics that was down there when they did the trip. And basically what he did, he apologized for how we have treated them and how we have not been on their side and haven't helped them. Now's a hell of a time to be on their side. With this damn devil in office, now's a good time to be on their side. All right. Any more questions? Just put them in the chat. I hope that answered your question. Yashikar. Where was I at? All right. Boom, boom, boom. Right. The book of Romans, chapter 3, verse 4. I'm gonna read that part. God forbid, right? Yea, let God be true, but every man a liar, as it is written, that thou mightest be justified in thy sayings and mightest overcome when thou art judged. People are gonna judge you. People are gonna you're gonna be with a woman. Your woman's gonna tell her friends that you don't celebrate birthdays, you don't celebrate Christmas, New Year's Eve. You know what they're gonna say? They're gonna say you're weird. Doesn't matter what they say because I'm justified in my sayings. I'm justified in what I'm saying. It's in the Bible. They'll never be able to come to my face and tell me I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. I'm just going to read it out of the Bible and cut them. I'm going to cut them to pieces and they're not going to like me. That's okay, right? You have to understand who is this written to. It was written, when you're reading the book of Romans, he's only writing to people who believe what he believed. He's only writing to the men who decided to study and follow God's words. Those who have committed themselves to be deemed men and women of the Lord, to be found righteous. There comes a point in time in your journey where you say to yourself, I know how to serve the Lord. There comes a point in time where it just click. It takes time. Let me tell you, young brother, something, including myself. Don't beat yourself up because you committed a sin, right? Don't let your woman beat you up because you committed a sin. Don't let people who don't understand this walk beat you up because you committed a sin. A just man falls 7 times, but he gets back up. Don't let somebody beat you up and call you a hypocrite because you made a mistake. This don't happen in a day, man. This takes years. You got to understand what you're breaking. You're breaking literal trauma. You're breaking every demon that's been on you since the day you've been born. You was born into sin. You was born in this lifestyle. You've been born into watching porn at a young age, having sex at a young age, gang banging at a young age, broken homes. You've been born into this. You've been raised into this, right? It takes years for you to become great at this. Great at this. It takes years. You with a woman, you say, I'm an Israelite School University Practical Knowledge coming out of 1 West on 25th Street. A woman, mind is just to find a flaw in you. Why? Because that's just what they meant to do. Because they looking for the best. That's what they looking for, the best. So you got to hold a standard. Look, you going to slip up. You going to make a mistake. I make plenty of mistakes. I still make mistakes. You think I'm not perfect? The scriptures say, be ye perfect as your Father in heaven is perfect. That's the book of Matthew chapter 5, verse 48. Look, that don't mean you're going to be perfect the day you say, I'm an officer. That's not how this shit works. Salaki, excuse my language. If I get fined, I get fined. That's not how this works. It takes time. It takes years, bro. 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 years. You got to think, you might have only been in here for a year, but you're 30 years old. You got to break a 30-year habit, bro. You got to break 30-year trauma. That's not going to happen the day you say, I'm an officer. It don't work like that. That don't happen the day you get your name. It don't work like that. You try to strive to become something. You want to be great. You got to understand how this works. You sisters, it's going to be harder for you because you're more tempted by what somebody on the outside say. Because there's something in you that makes you, I don't even want to use the word love because the word love is overused. It is not used properly. But you have this feeling of care. You really care what somebody says. You really care what they think. Brothers do too, but sister, you have it more. You don't want to be the eyeball out. You want to be cool. You want to be nice. But in this school, you got to understand, this ain't for that. We built different in here. We built different in here. What you're used to, you can't do that anymore. And it takes a long time to break it. Again, going back, that's a great parable that Yahuwah brought out. But Yashikar, he brought out a great parable. He brought out a great parable that talked about mercy, having compassion on somebody. Not only should you have mercy and compassion on somebody else, you should have mercy and compassion on yourself. You're gonna make a mistake, man. You're not gonna be great. The same way you're in a relationship and you make mistakes, you got a relationship with God now. Now you're gonna make mistakes as well. But he's merciful, he's wonderful, he's gracious. Well, you gotta have that from your partner. Well, guess what? You gotta have that with yourself too. You gotta say, damn, I messed up. I ain't gonna do it no more. And if it keeps continuing to happen, guess what you have to do? You got to go get counsel, man. Go get the goddamn counsel, right? Again, like I said, there comes a point of time in your journey where you say to yourself, I know how to serve the Lord. Why would you say that? Because you know that you've been taught by the men of God. What you're doing right now, you're learning. You're learning. I'm learning. I ain't no better than you. I'm learning, right? But it comes a point, you know, these are true men of God. These are true men of God. When you start to walk that path, you'll start to understand it don't matter what they say again, because I'm justified in my sayings. I'm justified in saying I don't eat pork. You'll overcome when people in the world judge you based off of your actions, based off what you do. Somebody might say, hey man, a brother or sister at work might tell you, You should have sex with so and so and so. That woman got a wife. You know what I'm saying? That woman got slacker. That woman got a husband. You should tell them, I'm not gonna have sex with her. Even though you know she wants to do it with you, because that's what she is. But you don't lower yourself down to that. Why? Because you have standards. And you can say, well, why would I have sex with somebody else's wife when I don't want nobody to have sex with my wife? You're justifying your sayings and your action. They have to look at you like, I've never heard that before. I've never heard these sayings before. I've never had somebody fight their flesh like this before in my face. You might win them over, right? Right now, let's get the book of 1 Peter. Let's go to the book of 1 Peter. What I want? Chapter 4, right? 1 Peter chapter 4. Let's go to verse 11. Then 1 Peter 4, 11. That's what I want, right? The book of 1 Peter chapter 4, verse 11. If any man speak, let him speak as the oracles of God. If any man minister, let him do it as of the ability which God giveth, that God in all things may be glorified through Yahushua Mashiach, to whom he praise and dominion forever and ever. Amen. There's an ability that you get, and that's through time. We spoke about that this Sunday. Through experience, you start to understand what was taught to you 2 years ago, 3 years ago. Some might not click with you that day, but it takes a while. And then you go through it, and then you're like, oh, I remember you said this 2 years ago on this field, and now it makes sense, right? You got to speak as the oracles of God. Precept with that, give me the book of Hebrews. We're going to go to Hebrews 5, verse 12 through 14, right? Where my book at? I just book of Hebrews chapter 5, verse 12. For when for the time ye ought to be teachers, this is for you young officers, man, who hasn't taught a class yet and who want to teach a class. For when for the time ye ought to be teachers, ye have need that one teach you again, which be the first principles of the oracles of God. We just read that. You got to understand, you can't run in here and start teaching Revelation 21. It's just not going to work like that. And that's what a lot of brothers have a problem with. We know, personally, we know a brother who think he's supposed to be this, you're not that out. Teach. You have to be retaught what you thought. Why do you have to be retaught? Because again, just like I said earlier, everything you've been taught has been total bullshit. Everything. And it's hard for people to really grasp that concept that everything they've ever been taught has been a lie. Everything they've ever been told has been a lie. Everything they thought about has been a lie. It's hard to grasp that concept. And then it's you telling them. It's you they think you're the same. That's what they think. They think when they walk in the street, you and them are equal. But some of their mind lets them know you're not equal. Something in their mind lets them know you know more than them. Either they choose to follow you or not. But you got to be retaught. So what? So you can reteach somebody else. Man, everything that's been told you has been a lie, man. It's a lie. And it's hard. That's why they're like, oh, you brainwashed. Hell yeah, I'm brainwashed. I had to clean this shit up. Brain polluted is what I was. You got to really, if you really just think about your life and what you did in the past, you have to have some type of shame to it. You got to say, damn, I was not living righteously. Damn, I was not doing the correct thing. Damn, what I was doing was harming somebody. I've hurt somebody. Physically, emotionally, I've hurt somebody. I've hurt them. I've hurt women. I've hurt men. I've hurt people. I have to live with that hurt. The only way to get over that is to understand that I've been granted mercy and grace. And the only way I can really fix it is by winning other people over. I can't win that person over that I hurt 10 years ago, 5 years ago, 2, 3, 4 years ago. Hell, yesterday. I can't win them. Hell, today. Can't win them over. But I can win you over. I can win somebody else over. That's the point of this, right? Let's go back to verse 12 in Hebrews chapter 5. For when for the time ye ought to be teachers, ye have need that one teach you again, which be the first principles of the oracles of God, and are become such as have need of milk and not of strong meat. For everyone that useth milk is unskillful in the word of righteousness, for he is a babe. Yeah, you babes when you come in here. Hey man, you babes. You come up in here, you don't know what you think you know. You realize you don't know anything. Matter of fact, hold that. Let's go to the book of John, chapter 3, right? Hold that. Let's go to 3. Let's start at verse 5, right? This is the book of John, chapter 3, verse 5. Matter of fact, let's start at 1. Let's do the book of John, chapter 3, verse 1. I'm going to stop at, I think, 12, right? There was a man of the Pharisees named Nicodemus, a ruler of the Jews. Again, here we go with these Pharisees coming up to Christ, right? This is not a conversation of likeness. This is a conversation of contention, right? The same came to Jesus by night and said unto him, Rabbi, we know that thou art a teacher come from God. For no man can do these miracles that thou doest except God be with him. Yahushua answered and said unto him, Verily, verily, I say unto thee, except a man be born again, except a man be taught again, except a man change his ways, he cannot see the kingdom of God. Nicodemus saith unto him, How can a man be born when he is old? Can he enter the second time into his mother's womb and be born? Christ is probably looking at him like, you don't know this? You don't understand this, right? You don't really get what I'm saying? How do you not understand what I'm saying when you're supposed to be a Pharisee? You're supposed to be a doctor of the law, a lawyer of the law, right? Verse 5, Verily, verily, I say unto thee, except a man be born of water and of the Spirit, he cannot enter into the kingdom of God. That which is born of the flesh is flesh, and that which is born of the Spirit is spirit. There's 2 separate births you get, man. You can't go back into your mother's womb. I can't go back into my mother's womb, but I can be born again. I can be given a new family. I can be given a new name. I can be taught how to walk again, how to talk again. I can be shown how to be a new creature. That's the baptism. That's what you're being taught here, right? That which is born of the flesh is flesh, and that which is born of the Spirit is spirit. Marvel not that I said unto thee, ye must be born again. A Christian don't understand that. A Christian think they get dumped in the water, they born again. I'm new. No, you if you dump a homosexual in water, he's gonna come up just a wet homosexual. He's not gonna change his ways because he doesn't have to change his ways because the Christian church does not need for you to change your ways. That's what's not taught in there. You can be the same thing. People smoke crack. That's Christians, bro. Christians smoke crack. They do cocaine. They have frivolous sex with anybody. They get married and then they divorce and go have sex with somebody else. And they go to the club and they're getting piped down every weekend by some man that's not hers. Those are Christians. Those are Christians, right? Not us. Verse 8, the wind bloweth where it listeth, and thou hearest the sound thereof, but canst not tell whence it cometh and whither it goeth. So is everyone that is born of the Spirit. That's the same thing with this. We was just out there talking. Brothers was just out there since 1969 just saying blacks, Hispanics, Native Americans are the true chosen people of God. They didn't know where it was going. They just knew to say it. They did not have an idea on where it was traveling to. Guess what? It traveled to you. It traveled to you, a warrior. It traveled to you, Kodash, Yahuwah, Natazak, Orach. It traveled to you, sister. It traveled. And it got to you. No one knew where it would go. No one knew where it would land it. But the wind is going to go either way. You can't stop the wind from going out. That's the same thing with this truth. Verse 9. Nicodemus answered and said unto him, How can these things be? Verse 10. Jesus answered and said unto him, Art thou a master of Israel, and knowest not these things? Verily, verily, I say unto thee, We speak that we do know and testify that we have seen, and ye receive not our witness. This is the same thing we do today. I'm telling you, white people hate black people. I'm telling you what I know. I'm telling you what I see. They're going to pull your black behind out that car and beat the hell out of you in that paddy wagon. I'm telling you what I know. I'm telling you what I see. And you still don't believe it. White people hate Mexicans. No matter how much a Mexican think they is so close to a white person, white people hate you. No, they don't understand it. You know why? Because they're trying to get away from us. Not understanding, hey man, once we come together, they can't stop none of us. We testify what we know. We testify what we see. And ye receive not our witness. Verse 12. If I have told you earthly things and ye believe not, how shall ye believe if I tell you of heavenly things? That's why sometimes you can't go so deep with somebody. They don't understand basic stuff. They don't understand race. They don't understand that they were slaves and they don't have their history anymore. They don't understand that. So how are you going to explain to them the book of Revelation? How are you going to explain to them that Christ is only coming back for them? How you going to explain to them that Christ is only here for blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans? You can't explain that to them. Why? Because they don't understand earthly things. That's something spiritual. That's something that's supposed to sizzle in your spirit, and they don't understand it. They don't understand what you mean by when you say, matter of fact, let's go to the book of John chapter 8, right? Let's go to the book of John chapter 8. This is one of my favorite scriptures. Wow. John 8:32, right? Notice off the top of my head. It's the book of John chapter 8, verse 32. Matter of fact, start 31. Then said Yahweh to those Jews which believed on him. Remember this. Christ did miracles in front of everybody. This is what we do, miracles in front of people every day. Do you smoke weed anymore? No. Sister, are you a whore anymore? No. That's a miracle. Coming from where you from, that's a miracle. Do you eat pork anymore? No. That's a miracle. How is it a miracle? Because you see pork on the TV every day. That's a miracle. Christ was doing miracles for these people all day. Then said Yahweh to those Jews which believe on him. We have the book of John chapter 8, verse 31. If ye continue in my word, then are ye my disciples indeed. Verse 32. This is one of my favorite verses. And ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. You got to really understand that what Christ is saying to them when he's saying you shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. In the word, all you hear is a bunch of people say, and the truth shall set you free. Ain't even read the verse because that's not what it says. It says the truth shall make you free, meaning what? Free from sin, free from oppression. Why? I know if there's a notice on my door that says, we're about to kick you out, I'm not going to go sell drugs to make sure I don't get kicked out. I'm just going to get kicked out. Because I'm not going to make a bad time. I'm not going to make it worse. If I'm poor and I need diapers for my baby, I'm not going to go steal to get diapers. Now I'm going to get thrown in jail for stealing diapers. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, my wife is getting on my nerves. I'm not going to go have sex with some whore to make me feel better. I won't do that when I'm going to go catch AIDS. The truth shall make you free, meaning I'm free from the sin that I would do if I was not in the truth. I'm free from my feelings, from my emotions. I'm free from that. Why? Because my feelings and emotions are not justified by this Bible. Yet what I want to do in my flesh, I can't do in the spirit. How do I know? Because I was born again. And just like a baby, I'm being taught again. I have to fight my urges again. Somebody have to teach me not to put my hand in a cookie jar and not to eat dessert before food because I'm hungry now. Somebody has to teach me discipline. You're not getting that in the Christian church. They're not going to teach you none of that. The truth shall make you free. What is the truth? Psalms 119, 142 again. Thy righteousness is an everlasting righteousness, and thy law is the truth. What is the truth? The law of God. I know if I follow the laws of God, nothing will happen to me. You got to understand, the truth is a secret to the world. Matter of fact, I'm going to prove it. I don't want you to just think I'm up here having tough talk. Let's go to the book of Psalms, chapter 25, verse 14. Oh, I'll precept that. Don't worry about it. Well, I said Psalm 25, at least 25 and 14. I could be wrong. 25. Man. Come on. The book of Psalms, chapter 25, verse 14. The secret of the Lord. This Bible is a secret. It is a mystery. People do not understand it. People, man, every single religion on the face of this planet Earth was started from the Bible. You know why? Because they don't understand that the Bible is not a religion. There's no religion in this Bible. This Bible is all about law, statutes, and commandments, doing what God told you to do. It is a holy Bible for a holy people, a separate Bible for a separate people, a peculiar book for a peculiar collection of people, a special book for a special collection of people, right? The mysteries in this Bible is a secret. I'm going to read it. The book of Psalms, chapter 25, verse 14. The secret of the Lord is with them that fear him. How do you know you fear God? Because you don't eat pork. You know why you don't eat pork? Because God told you not to eat pork. That's very simple. It's a very simple Bible. And he will show them his covenant. He's going to show who his covenant? The people that fear him. All Israelites are under the covenant. But guess what? They don't all fear him, so he's not going to show them the secret. They don't even want to know it. Let's go to the book of Amos, chapter 3, verse 7. Don't worry, y'all. I'm almost done. Let's go to the book of Amos, chapter 3, verse 7. So like if I'm long-winded, I ain't get to teach a class in a hot little minute. Come on. The book of Amos, chapter 3, verse 7. Precept this with that Psalms 25:14. Surely the Lord God will do nothing, but he revealeth his secret unto his servants, the prophets. This Bible is a secret. It's a mystery amongst people. They do not understand it. They never understand it. You know why they don't understand it? Because they don't want to. You know what Christianity is? Christianity is whatever the hell you want it to be. That's what it is. Christianity is I can do whatever the hell I want to do, and God's gonna love me anyway. That's goddamn crazy. They don't really truly believe in God. Imagine, brothers, imagine you got a woman, you tell her, don't have sex with another man. That's how I know you love me. And she goes out there and go have sex with every Joe on a goddamn block. Does she love you? No. So why do you think the Lord is any different? Why do you think a dead person gets so much love more than a person that's alive? Because to a dead person, you don't have to show them love. You can just say, I love you. And you don't have to show them anything. But let me tell you, God is a living God, and you got to show him daily that you love him. You have to show him daily. They don't understand that shit. That's why they are where they are, and they still do not understand the Bible. Let's go. Let's keep precepting this. Let's go to the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 2, verse 7. Don't worry, I ain't going to hold y'all up too much longer. Dwell for rocking out with me. The book of 1 Corinthians chapter 2, verse 7. It's the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 2, verse 7. But we speak the wisdom of God in a mystery. Same old thing. We speak it in a mystery. They don't understand it. Here's the crazy part. To you and I, it's simple. You and I, we think this is a simple book. God tell me don't eat pork. I don't eat pork. God is a separatist. I know he's a separatist because I read it all throughout the Bible. God only loves blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. I know it because it's in the Bible. It's very simple to you and I. God say, don't be evil. Don't have an evil eye towards your brother. I don't have an evil eye towards my brother. How is that so hard? But it's a mystery spoken to them. But we speak the wisdom of God in a mystery, even the hidden wisdom, which God ordained before the world unto our glory. What glory is that? The glory is we're going to get the kingdom of heaven. That's our glory. They don't understand it. They'll never understand it. And that's okay. That's okay. That's all right. But you understand it. And you keep teaching this. Let's get the book of Ephesians chapter 3, verse 1. Don't worry. We're going to do a little precepting today. The book of Ephesians chapter 3, verse 1, right? For this cause I, Paul, the prisoner of Hamashiach and Havashai for you Gentiles. You hear what Paul said? I'm a prisoner. I'm in it. I cannot get out of this cell. Imagine this thing you're in is a cell, a prison cell, and you can't get out of it. Paul said, hey, I'm a prisoner to this amongst the Gentiles. Who are the Gentiles? By this time, everybody should know the Gentiles are Israelites that are in other lands. An American is a Gentile. Because why? We keep the laws of America. We think we're Americans. Those are Gentiles. He's not talking about everybody. I read it again. The book of Ephesians chapter 3, verse 1. For this cause, I, Paul, the prisoner of Jesus Christ, for you Gentiles, if ye have heard of the dispensation of the grace of God, which is given me to you, Lord, verse 3, how that by revelation he made known unto me the mystery, as I wrote afore in few words, whereby when ye read, ye may understand my knowledge in the mystery of Christ. They don't understand it. They do not understand what Christ is telling them. They do not understand what you're telling them. These ain't my words that I'm speaking. Everything I'm speaking is out the Bible. I don't want to do this. I want to go have sex with a horse. That's what my body wants to do. That is what I know. But my spirit won't allow me to do that. Why? Because I'm a prisoner of this. I'm locked into this. I can't go nowhere. I'm one West. And I'm dying one West. Other brothers not. And you need to find out who they are. And we mark them that cause divisions, right? Let's go to the book of I'm almost done, y'all. Let's go to the book of Deuteronomy chapter 6, right? Deuteronomy 6. Let's start at verse 1. The book of Deuteronomy chapter 6, verse 1. Now these are the commandments, the statutes, and the judgments which the Lord your God commanded to teach you, that ye might do them in the land whither ye go to possess it. What we finna read are things that was told to us. Verse 2. That thou mightest fear the Lord thy God, to keep all his statutes and his commandments, which I command thee, thou and thy son and thy son's sons, all the days of thy life, and that thy days may be prolonged. This is how you get life right here. You don't get life by goddamn being an evil, wicked bastard. That's not how you get life. This is how you get life, right? Verse 3. Hear therefore, O Israel, and observe to do it, that it may be well with thee, and that ye may increase mightily, as the Lord God of thy fathers have promised thee, in the land that floweth with milk and honey. I want you to understand this, man. No one else on the planet had a culture built off monotheism. Meaning what? Meaning we the only people that always had one God. We the only people that always had a belief or doctrine that there is one and only one God. Every other people on the planet Earth, since the day Earth was made, believed in everything else. Them Egyptians believe in a ram being a god. Just nonsense, right? Everyone else on the planet Earth is polytheism. What do we call a group of people, right? What do we call a group of people who live by certain set up rules and laws? We call it a cult, which is short for what? The word culture. God gave the children of Israel culture. This culture is like a business. How are we going to set our business apart from everyone else? How can you make people buy from us? And just like that's crazy. Just like every business on the planet Earth, we have to have a mission statement. What is our mission statement? The book of Deuteronomy chapter 6, verse 4, right? Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God is one Lord. Shema Yasha'Allah, Yahweh Allah Hayanawa, Yahweh Akkad. Shema Yasha'Allah, Yahweh Allah Hayanawa, Yahweh Akkad. That's Deuteronomy 6 and 4. That's our mission statement. We got one Lord. We have one Lord. We have SOPs. SOPs are standard operating procedures. Matter of fact, I approve it. The book of Deuteronomy chapter 4. Let's go to the book of Deuteronomy 4. Let's go to verse 5, right? Behold, I have taught you statutes and judgments, even as the Lord my God commanded me, that ye should do so in the land whither ye go to possess it. Keep therefore and do them, for this is your wisdom and your understanding in the sight of the nations, which shall hear all these statutes and say, surely this great nation is a wise and understanding people. For what nation is there so great who have God so nigh unto them as the Lord our God is in all things that we call upon him for? Verse 8. And what nation is there so great that have statutes and judgments so righteous as all this law, which I set before you this day? These are our SOPs. This is our standard operating procedures. This is how we should move. So people should look at our business, Black business, Hispanic business, Native American business, West Indian business, Latino business. They should look at our business and say, damn, we got to do what they do. Let's buy what they got. Let's buy what they got. You got to understand what we have to do. We have to run this earth in righteousness to show other governments how to have a great and problem-free nation. That's why we can't have no problems in one way. That little petty arguments you have, you got to get over that shit. You got to get over it. Because we need everybody to look at us. Man, we are really on the FBI watch list, man. We on the FBI watch list, right? You need to know when they look at you, they can't find any fractures in our government, in our system. They can't find any. That's how you got to look at it. You got to say, oh shit. They can't find a crack in here. They have to say, man, there's nothing wrong with that group. And they got to leave us be. They got to search us and try to find a crack and they just can't find it. You got to understand, a man from Sri Lanka can look at us and go teach his people how to be great. That's how you should be. Some dude you never seen before, he should ask you questions. You should give him answers, and he should be able to raise a great family. We are living in such a time of oppression where right now there are people that are selling peace. They're selling peace right now. People are selling everything is going to be okay. This nigga Donald Trump is in the office trying to deport Hispanics right now today. Trying to get rid of the 14th Amendment today. And they're selling peace. People voted this man in office. Christians voted this man in office, and they're trying to sell you peace. They're selling you everything is going to be okay. This is how you get back to being yourself. This is how you quiet out all the noise. Here's the crazy part. You're learning your doctrine from the people who's making all the damn noise. You're learning it. I'm going to teach you, and we're going to teach you how you find peace in all this chaotic noise. Why don't you just remove the noise? You know why you got so many problems and so much noise in your life? Because you keep sinning. Because you keep putting yourself in horrible situations and things are happening and you're not understanding what's going on. What Nazar is? That's a crazy question. Zechariah 1:18. Let's see if I got the skill to break down the book of Zechariah chapter 1 verse 18. Zechariah. Hey, dude, you know, hey, man, you know I don't know that. I've been trying to figure that out since you showed me that. That's crazy. Yeah, that's a crazy question. I'm really, hey, man, I'm not playing with you. Let me get back to my topic, right? Back to finding peace in this chaotic situation. We're in such an oppressive time. You can't physically remove the noise, but spiritually, you can remove the noise around you. How? How do you remove the noise that's around you? How do you remove the problems that is around you? Let's go to the book of 1 Peter chapter 3. I'm almost done. Don't worry about it. I'm glad y'all rocking with me. Let's go to the book of 1 Peter chapter 3. Let's start at verse 10. Oh, yeah. The book of 1 Peter chapter 3, verse 10. For he that will love life and see good days, let him refrain his tongue from evil, and his lips that they speak no guile. Let him eschew evil and do good. Let him seek peace and ensue it. Verse 12. For the eyes of the Lord are over the righteous, and his ears are open unto their prayers, but the face of the Lord is against them that do evil. You know this written down somewhere? Do you understand that this is written down somewhere? Let's go to the book of Psalms, chapter 34, verse 12 through 16. Y'all got to understand when the New Testament was written, they're only going off what they read in the Old Testament. They didn't make up anything. You got to think, right? You're in the New Testament right now. But if somebody was to make a book, we're like the New Testament, right? Let's get the book of Psalms, chapter 34. Let's see what David said. What I said, the book of Psalms, chapter 34, verse 12. Precept is, right? What man is he that desireth life and liveth many days, that he may see good? Keep thy tongue from evil and thy lips from speaking guile. Depart from evil and do good. Seek peace and pursue it. The eyes of the Lord are upon the righteous, and his ears are open unto their cry. The face of the Lord is against them that do evil, to cut off the remembrance of them from the earth. That's what's going to happen to all wickedness. They're going to get cut off on this earth. How do you not get your face cut off on the earth? I'll show you. I'm going to end it with this. Let's go to the book of Joshua, chapter 24, verse 15. Two more precepts we got here. I think this fitting at the end and on. It's the book of Joshua, chapter 24. Verse 15, right? And if it seem evil unto you to serve the Lord, choose you this day whom ye will serve. Whether the gods which your fathers served that were on the other side of the flood, or the gods of the Amorites in whose land ye dwell. But as for me and my house, we will serve the Lord. Let's go to the book of Joshua 1 and 8. I'm ending on this one, right? I'm ending on this one. It's the book of Joshua, chapter 1, verse 8. It's like, this book of the law shall not depart out of thy mouth. Again, we're going back to the basics. This book of the law shall not depart out of thy mouth, but thou shalt meditate therein day and night, that thou mayest observe to do according to all that is written therein. For then thou shalt make thy way prosperous, and then thou shalt have good success. Back to the basics. With that, I'm in the class. You got any questions? Get at us next week. Is anything coming up? Purim coming up in March. Pay your tithes. Passover fee coming up in April 12th in Atlanta. You know we turning up. Anything else? I think that's fitting in. With that, shalom.